Hello YouTube! We're on the Real Programming channel. I'm his host, my name is Andrei, I greet you, welcome. This is our 27th lesson. We'll talk about HTML and JavaScript and topic drive your location with the JavaScript API Geolocation. Okay, so it's cool. We've got so many ways to know where we are, how I am going to know which method my device is using. You are not. The short answer is you are not, as the browser implementation is going to determine your location is determined. But the good news is the browser can use any of these means to determine your location. In fact, a smart browser might first use cell font triangulation. It is available to give you a route idea of location and then later give you a more accurate location with Wi-Fi or GPS. We'll see that you don't need to worry about how the location is being determined, and we will focus more on the accuracy of your location instead. Based on the accuracy, you can determine how useful the location is going to be for you. Stay tuned, we'll get back to accuracy a little bit later. So, exercise: sharpen your pencil and sheet of paper. Think about your existing HTML pages and applications or ones that you want to create. How might you incorporate location information into them? And your answer you may write on a comment, for example. Solution of this exercise will be in the next lesson. Maybe end of this chapter, for example. Okay, let's talk about just where are you anyway. So, well, of course you know where you are, but let's see where your browser thinks you are. To do that, we'll just create a little HTML. And don't forget, remember, you will find all the code and materials of this lesson under this video in the description link to Google Drive. Okay, and let's look on Sublime Text. You can download this on link who can in the description of this video. Okay, this is our code. All the usual stuff at the top, including a link to a file where we'll put our JavaScript, mylog.javascript and a style sheet, mylog CSS to make it all look pretty. We're going to write your geolocation, and in mylog log JavaScript code, and you are going to use this div to output your location. Put all this HTML in the file named mylog.html. Now let's create mylog.javascript and write a little code. We're going to do this quickly and then come back and dissect it all. And this to your mylog.javascript file. And we're calling the function getMyLocation as soon as the browser loads the page. This is how we check to make sure the browser supports the geolocation API. If the navigator.geolocation object exists, then we have it. If it does, then we call the getCurrentPosition method handler function displayLocation. We'll implement this in just a sec. The displayLocation function is the handler that's going to get its hands on the location. If the browser does not support geolocation, then we'll just pop up an alert to the user. Here is our handler, which is going to get called when the browser has location. GetCurrentPosition handler is pasted position, which contains the latitude and longitude of your location, along with some accuracy info we'll get to in a bit. We grab the latitude and longitude of your location from the position coords object. Then we grab our div from the HTML, and for now we'll just set the content of the location div to your location using in HTML. Test drive your location. Get this code, type it in and take your new location ever page for a test drive. When you run a geolocation web app for the first time, you'll notice a request in the browser asking for your permission to use your location. This is a browser security check, and you're free to tell the browsers no, but assuming you want to test this web app, you want to click allow or yes. When you do, the app should show your location like this. The request for a permission may look a little different depending on the browser you're using, but will look something like this. Here is your location. Your location will obviously be different from ours. If it is not, we're going to get really worried about you. If you are not getting your location and assuming, you've double checked for typos and that kind of thing. Hold for a few pages and we'll give some code to debug this. Keep in mind, getting a location isn't always instantaneous. It might take a little while. So, what we just did. If your browser supports the geolocation API, you'll find the geolocation property in the navigator object. Now that we've got some geolocation code up and running, and again, if you're not seeing a location yet, hold on, we're getting to some debugging technicals in just a sec. Let's look through the code in a little more detail. First, the first thing you need to know if you're going to write geolocation code is, does this browser support it? To do that, we make use of the fact that browser have a geolocation property in their navigation object only if geolocation is supported. So we can test to see if the geolocation property exists, and if so, make use of it. Otherwise, we'll let the user know. We can use a simple test to see if geolocation is there. If it so let's look exactly on Sublime Text. If navigator so pass to location. This is our code. So we can use a simple test to see if geolocation is there. If it's not that navigator that geolocation evaluates to null and the condition will fail. If it is there, we can make use of it, and if not, we'll let the user know. So, 2. Now there is navigator.geolocation property, we're going to make some more use of it. In fact, navigator.geolocation property is an object that contains the entire geolocation API. The main method the API supports is getting current position, which does the work of getting the browser's location. Let's take a closer look at this method, which has 3 parameters, the second 2 of which are optional. So, remember, APIs are just objects with properties and methods. Now, aren't you glad you did all this JavaScript training up front? The success handler is a function that is called off if the browser is able to successfully determine your location. The error handler is another function that is called if something goes wrong and the browser can't determine your location. These 2 parameters are optional, which is why we didn't need them before. The optional parameter allows to customize the way geolocation works. And 3. Now let's take a look at our call to the getCurrentPosition method. For now, we're supplying just the success handler argument to handle a successful attempt to get the browser location. We'll look at the case when the browser fails to find the location in a bit. So, remember chaining from chapter 4, we're using the navigator object to get access to the geolocation object, which is just a property of navigator. And we're calling the geolocation object's getCurrentPosition method with 1 argument, the success callback. If and when geolocation determines your location, it will call display location. Did you notice we're replacing the function to another function here? Remember from chapter 4 that functions are values, so we can do that no problem. And now let's take a look at the success handler display location. When the display location is called, the geolocation API is passed in a position object that contains information about the browser location, and including a coordinates object that holds the latitude and longitude as well as few other values we'll talk about later. Position is the object that passed into your success handler by geolocation API. The position an object has a coordinates property that holds a reference there to the coordinates object, and the coordinate object holds your latitude and latitude longitude. And this part we are using your can do in the sleep by now we're just talking the coordinate information display it in a div in the page. So, and how it all fits together and test drive diagnostic. We'll talk about this in the next lesson. And here is our 27 lesson about HTML and JavaScript is over. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, please. Put like, share with friends, comment, eat bananas, eat nuts and chocolate, drink more water for the brain, do exercise every evening. That's all. Thank you. Bye.